Alright fellas, today's project is to rebuild this starter from a 1940 Dodge D14 Deluxe sedan. And before we can do that, I want to put some of Grandpa's old electrical tester equipment to use. So we've got this growler here to test the armature, and then this is the wand for testing your field coil. And I've actually never used this piece here, but Grandpa was an electrician and rebuilt well pump motors and refrigerators and all sorts of stuff. So you guys have heard me mention that I had his equipment before. Here's some of the stuff I got. So you can see some of these cords are a little sketch. I don't think this one's showing anything dangerous, but we're gonna fix this up a little bit and then see if we can put these to use. So stick with me and we'll get this growler rewired here so that we can get these test probes working correctly. Alright, we're going to try and do this on camera, and this is not going to be easy the way this is set up here, but let's do it anyway. My bit's going to fall out. And there goes my screw. Come on, little bit, get in there. Okay, and just set the wand over here for a momentito. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to move the camera up so you can see here. It should be fairly straightforward. I just don't know about accessing the interior of these probes, but... And we're losing parts already. Normally I do this on the workbench, but I'm trying to show you guys right here, right now. Right here, right now. What mystery shall we unfold? Oh boy, none. That is a heavy sucker, man. Tell you what. Okay, maybe we'll take the top off. Let's see what we get in here. Oh boy, that do not look fun. Alright, this might be easier if we just take the transformer off too. That is one old transformer. Look at the wire nut on that. That is crazy old. Alright, so here's our faulty test leads. And inside they're a little bit better, but not much. I'd really rather replace the entire thing. But we need to be able to get this out of here first, so I don't even know which one's which here. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get these probes apart without breaking them. I'm assuming we'll probably have to use a pair of pliers and pull it out from this plastic or bakelite, whatever it is. This is like its own little project here. I love how they've insulated this with paper. Oh, that is cool. They got like a rolling contactor switch in here. I think that's what that is. No? What is that, a resistor? It's probably a big old resistor. Ohmite Corib 0.5. I assume that's 0.5 ohms. So there you go. That's pretty neat. I think, yeah, we can just desolder that and then put some new leads on. So they did them both black. I'm not sure if there's a designated positive and negative on those, but I can tell you one thing, is they haven't really made this fun to repair this because of transformer, and of course the transformer being attached to the leg bone. The leg bone's attached to the base plate. Maybe we can, oh, there we go. Okay. I'd really like to repaint this with this paint. This paint is cool. I don't know if you can see that. But like this color here, that's cool paint. Ooh boy, look at that. That is bizarre. Check this out. Is that a capacitor? It says 06. The back side is illegible. I don't know how much I trust that capacitor. That thing is pretty smoked. But yeah, let's get busy finding some test leads for this. Alright, I doubt you can see this, but I'll try and zoom it in post-editing. So this wire unfortunately has been wrapped around this. I hate it when they do that on electronics, because if you ever got to repair anything, it's a massive pain in the butt. Come on. This iron's not hot enough yet. I don't think that that's making contact with anything, because this is going to ground on the case, but I think that's just a way to hold that. But it's a good thing we caught that. I'd like to make sure that doesn't happen again. But you know, what do you expect? This thing's been through the ringer. Okay, look at this. If you see right here, this capacitor, this one right here looks like a normal paper capacitor. So there's definitely something wrong with this one. I don't know what's happened to it, but it's not looking so hot, so we need to be looking for a replacement for that. It'll probably still work right now. I've turned this machine on before, but it's been a while, so we'll see what happens when we try and turn it on. Okay, now I'm trying to flip solder in my eyeballs here while we unravel this. Oh, come on. Wrapped around. Alright, there's one. The wire looks pretty freaking awesome. I'm using electrical type solder. So, actually this one is non-electrical. I better go grab the other one. I grabbed the wrong one. But I know you want to make sure you're using electrical solder on the electrical application, so that's why this says for non-electrical. I have another one just like this. So let's go grab that and get the right one. GoPro's playing its games again, shutting off on me randomly. Maybe it's trying to tell me you guys are bored stiff. Okay. Careful. Careful. Come on. Need to have this just a touch closer to this. This is really not where I want this. I want that overlaying on the top of the dumb thing, but it's very difficult. Okay, well, let's try that. I don't know. Guys, let's do a few tests on here, and I've already done a couple off camera, and so I know what the machine's going to do. But let's start out with our ground test, and we'll move on to our short test with a blade here, Doesn't have to be a hacksaw blade, just has to be ferrous metal, obviously, because you want to induce a magnetic field. So let's go and do a ground test. I already know this armature's good, but I'll show you anyway. And then also something to mention is do not touch the commutator down here. I see a lot of guys on YouTube doing this, but if you look, what's going to happen to your commutator, and I don't care about this armature, so I'm goofing around, but look right there. This is just from me goofing around. If you just turn this commutator and cut all your mica, you're going to be doing it again because it burns a hole in there. It'll burn a hole in the metal too. Okay, so the way they say to do this in the book is do it on the risers here, because it doesn't matter. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, so you want to test your probes against each other. This is simulating a ground, making sure the machine's working. Clearly it is. Okay, so we're going to go one here and one here. And that way you're going to go through and individually test each one. Do not sweep. I'm going to sweep across this just to show you what you shouldn't do. Do not do this. Okay, the book says not to do that. So you can test it down here where it's clearly been on the lathe. They've got a center hole in there. Whatever. I don't think I would recommend touching here where this is going to ride in a bushing. As you can see, this is good. We're not getting any buzzing. Okay, I've already tested this. It doesn't matter. This is just junk. So, but it's a good armature. I mean, I guess I could use it for a grinder if I had a grinder it fits, but it's just to demonstrate. Next test. Next test is going to be the short test. So we're going to take this around here. Watch for vibration. That means you're getting a magnetic field, which is what you don't want. Demonstrating the magnetic field. That's what you don't want on this. Sweep around, turn it off, turn it around. Just make sure you've got it all the way around. You're going to get close down to here, and don't let it fool you because you're getting the magnetic field from the growler itself. So you can feel that. Watch it pull it right out of my hand. Okay, that's what you don't want on the armature itself. Now this next test, according to what I'm reading, I don't know if the machine's working right. It seems to be, but I'll just show you anyway. So this is the voltage test. You're basically going to take your two probes and check here. 1, 2, next set, next set, next set. You're supposed to get a reading on this armature fault indicator, but I don't get a reading unless I go 180 out. So maybe one of you guys who's a growler expert can tell me if that's normal. Okay, so checking side to side here, just right next to each other, I should say. Now, you can see 180 out, we get a reading. So, I'm going to have to look up the specific directions for this one. It's made by Crown Industrial Products. I'm sure they're long out of business. This was made in probably the 40s or 50s. But that tells me that the machine should be working correctly. I think it's going to work sufficiently, at least for testing this starter that we're going to do here. So I am satisfied with the repair we've made to the probes. I still am curious about that capacitor inside. I would like to replace it before it pops because it doesn't look good. So that will be next on the list for this, because I use this kind of stuff fairly frequently to rebuild starters, generators, that kind of thing, and I'm only doing more and more of it. So I want to make sure that I know how to use my equipment. I can trust my equipment. Alright guys, well hopefully you liked that short little video on the growler. And remember to stay tuned for the main point of the video, which was to get the growler and the other equipment ready so that we can test out that 40 Dodge starter. Now, I think that starter is going to work fine. I think it needs brushes, but the brushes do have a little bit of life left in them. So we're just going to go with it because we're having a hard time finding those. But we do need to look at that foot switch. This doesn't have a solenoid. It's got a foot switch which throws out that Bendix drive, and it also initiates the starter rotation when you press that. So I think we need to clean some contacts in there, and we'll repaint that whole starter, get it all cleaned up, and possibly powder coat the bolts in the end cap. We'll see. But remember, if you're liking this content, to hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me to know what you guys like, because otherwise I'm just having to guess. I know a lot of people have liked stuff on the Jeep and the Sailor Beal air compressor. I'm planning an update on the Sailor Beal. We've got a few issues to address on that, such as a leak out of the unloader screw. I've got a magnetic starter to wire up. I've changed out the drain on the bottom so it's a ball valve, so it's a little easier to use, and we can get a drain on that consistently. And then the other thing is I need to fix my air pressure regulator. Stay tuned for that, and then I'm going to have a video coming up on the Jeep motor. I started filming that, but unfortunately I lost all the footage. So this is Reaper, signing off on another one.